Well, folks, we have a handful of news stories for you today surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2, some thoughts from game developers, a update on a potential third-party game coming to Nintendo Switch 2, a small, and I want to stress this, a small, but I think interesting update on, it's weird, a future rumor for a Nintendo Direct. I think, well, once you see it, I think you'll understand why I'm saying a future rumor rather than a current one. Look, this is... How can it be a future rumor if the rumor doesn't exist yet, right? So, look, we have some interesting stuff we want to dive into here. Nintendo dropping the goods for GameCube NSO and more. So, before we dive in, hey, folks, there's a giveaway going on right now. It ends next week. You can go ahead and enter down in the link in the pinned comment or the description. Also, we are on our road to 160,000, then 70, 80, 90, and ultimately our long haul goal of 200,000 subscribers. If you're enjoying this video and you're having a damn good time, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and head down to that comment section and let me know what game being demoed this month for Nintendo Switch 2 are you most interested in seeing news and or seeing more footage of? Remember, there's Legends EA, Metroid Prime 4, Borderlands 4, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade. Look, the list is out there if you guys want to go check it out. There's a bunch of games being demoed at the Fan Expo, Gamescom, and PAX West. So let me know. All right. Let's go ahead and dive in here. First off, speaking of Gamescom, they do this thing where they poll developers that are attending Gamescom every single year on various issues in the gaming industry. And I feel like going through these poll results, while we don't have the exact numbers, we do have the percentages, I think is interesting and worth taking a look at. So this comes from the Games Press website, which is where they have chosen to publish the developer stuff through, because there is a developer portion of their conference happening before the actual public Gamescom. But this is the poll they did to the attendees before, and they went over a lot of different things. So let's just get into some of this stuff. So like in 2025 edition of the survey, I was answered by 100 DevCom speakers offering a snapshot of current industry sentiment, challenges, and trends with insights alike. 33% of respondents who would like to see as little AI involvement in the development process as possible. 56% participants cite economic and political uncertainty as the biggest challenge currently impacting game development. 46% believe major platform holders will shift focus towards cloud and digital services in coming years. Now, that's just some general stuff. Let's dive into some of the other poll and results they did here. So what business model will dominate in the near future? The number one result was digital and physical premium games at 27%, with paid subscriptions at 20% and free-to-play with in-game purchases at 18%. Is early access still viable? Basically, most of them believe that it is, broadly or with specific genres. So regardless, yeah, they think early access is still a viable strategy. Platform exclusivity seems to be fading. Only 6% believe exclusivity will remain a core strategy. 6%, 100 people. Nintendo's attending Gamescom. Perhaps were the 6% 6 Nintendo employees. I mean, they're the only ones still going forward with the exclusive strat. So I'm assuming it's like 6 Nintendo employees and then everybody else. Anyways, most expected limited, some sort of limited exclusivity. That's usually your timed exclusives, 28%, 34%. 32% predicting exclusivity will become less common altogether. AI in development, where it works best. Most valuable use cases cited were code and production at 32%, art and animation at 11%, but 33% actually prefer minimal AI involvement, meaning that they don't really want to use AI. Biggest industry challenges, top concerns including economic and political uncertainty, market saturation, and rising development costs. Now, our large-scale digital showcase is still worth it. So you're talking your Nintendo Directs, opening night lives, all that stuff. For visibility was actually a key reason. 54% of respondents who answered yes. However, 21% felt the cost outweighs the benefits. 8% said they're too crowded for real impact. So you have a small percentage that just says there's too many of them to have an impact. And then you have the 21% that's like, oh, they're not bad, but the cost to participate and or make a show isn't worth what you get. But a majority do still think those digital showcases are worthwhile. All right. Buying habits, digital versus physical. Digital formats dominate, with 59% preferring them. Physical editions appeal mainly to collectors, with a further 19% choosing physical by default. Cloud gaming outlook. The outlook is divided. 45% think console and PC will remain dominant. Another 46% expect major platform holders to shift towards cloud and digital first services. So there you go. You can go look at the actual stuff here. I'll link this page down below. Again, it's kind of interesting seeing the way the industry is shaping up and what they are expecting out of all of this, where they expect the future to go. Again, these are just their opinions and their expectations rather than where they actually know things are going, because you can't always, well, you literally just can't know the future. Let's just leave it at that. That being said, speaking of knowing the future, we've been covering Nintendo Direct rumors at this channel pretty much since 2017. And lately, we've been covering a fellow content creator and friend of the channel, Zach from Switchforce, who said, last we heard him, Indie World stuff, he was right about all of that. He said that he would let people know when the next general Nintendo Direct is, and he would do it before the week that it actually happens. So he's not going to wait till like the week of. He wanted to be one of the first people to like lock down a week of when this is going down, maybe even a day. And he has opened up a little bit. But the way he opened up is basically, we'll see you later. But I'm going to tell you something later. What? Well, okay. Switchforce, August is for Dragon Drive and Kirby, not a general direct. He said that yesterday, which, by the way, there was already rumors out there that the directs and all that stuff were going to be next month. All right, any estimate on when to expect an update on a general direct? Before the end of the month. Wait, what? So we get a direct update this month, but not a direct? From me. Oh, I trust you now, just as good. There you go. So Switchforce is saying before the end of August, Guys, I'm expecting it to be the last week. Let's just be honest. The week that we end up leaving and going out to PAX West, that's the week I think he's going to be dropping his rumor. It's a rumor, but his rumor update on the next direct. So does that mean it's coming early in September? I don't know. Maybe he's going to say it's the end of September. Beats the hell out of me, folks. We're going to have to wait and see what, if anything, Switchforce says. Again, we'll cover it when it happens. It's just a rumor, and we just have to hope that it means something. For right now, I don't know what it means. And you know what else I don't know what it means? How about the strange news around Tekken 8? Now, Tekken 8 has had some rumors and leaks surrounding it coming to Switch 2 for a majority of this year. And the team behind it was asked if Tekken 8 will come to Switch 2 anytime soon. So speaking to Eurogamer, Tekken 8 director Katsuhiro Harada, via translation from the designer Michael Murray, stated a Switch 2 port of the 3D fighting game could happen, but it'll be a costly endeavor. In an interview at EVO earlier this month, Harada stated, "It's an interesting option and not totally off the table, but it would require a lot of work on the game to get it running on that hardware." Harada continued, "From a business standpoint, the Switch 2 is doing quite well, so it would be a very good business decision if you're trying to get a bigger audience. But the amount of work that would have to be done on the game makes it not a very easy decision. At this point in time, there is nothing to announce." Now, it's interesting that he's laughing there because, you know, I think he's going to say that there are no plans or something, but then he backtracked because, look, we have some information out there. First off, this goes all the way back in January. Nintendo Switch 2 leaks seemingly revealed Red Dead Redemption 2 and Tekken 8 ports. These are just some listings on a big French retailer. That's cool, but those aren't exactly the biggest of leaks. And then we have stuff like this put up by Player Essence, quoting this one person said, "After researchers with the ENM found the leak, here's a list of games that will arrive." And this is all related to the same thing. So the point is, there's technically been like this leak out there, and rumored leak. I mean, it's a thing that existed. So I guess we can call it a leak. So Tekken 8 is something that might have already really been leaked, unless the leak is incorrect, of course. It could be leaked information, but it could be fake information. So, but the way that he words it here, when he says, you know, at this point in time, there are no, like he was about to say no plans, that he stopped himself, laughed, and said there's nothing to announce, which, you know, maybe he just didn't want to rule out the game, or maybe he knows the game's already coming, and they're just not ready to announce it. Maybe it's being announced in the next direct. I have no idea. But there you go. That's like what's going on with Tekken 8. And our last story, again, we talked about how demos begin this upcoming weekend for Nintendo Switch 2 games, including Pokemon Legends ZA. It's also coming to Switch. And they were doing demos at the Pokemon Worlds. And you had to use the Warp Pipe Pass to get tickets. And I just have an update on this. Not only were the tickets available, they're gone. There's no more available items. So first come, first serve game demo, completely gone. You had to register to get it. So if you're going to Pokemon Worlds this upcoming weekend and you didn't use your Warp Pipe Pass to get a ticket to play Legends EA, you're kind of crap out of luck. You're not going to get to play It will be available to demo at pretty much every event we're aware of. It's going to be available to demo also, I believe, at the... Wait, I can't remember if it's at the Fan Fest in Canada. I do know it's at Gamescom, and I believe it's going to be coming to PAX West. I'm slowly getting some info on the demos coming to PAX. So I'll let you guys know if we ever get a full list for Nintendo for PAX on what's going to be demoed there. Because, hey, the whole podcast crew is going to be there. So we're going to be all out over those demos. But I don't know, guys, kind of a short and sweet video for you today. Let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff down below. I always love when, we kind of have some succinct news here. Not a ton of speculation I wanted to do on anything. The big direct thing is probably the biggest news here today, besides the developer responses. But, this is the kind of day it is. Everything's kind of on hold. Next week is when we're going to get the really, really big news. For now, we're left with a lot of, hey, this is some cool news and some speculation, but maybe something big with a direct. But, nothing that's going to really get you excited until we get to next week. So, whatever. We have the podcast tonight, though, and that should get you excited because we do actually have some pretty big topics on the podcast tonight. You guys should definitely tune into that because there is a lot happening. It's just a lot of that stuff happening is not happening right now this second. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.